are one of the most
You recording?
of animals on the planet. Each uniquely adapted for life in their own special way. Here at Wild Zoological Park, you will encounter some of the world's most intelligent, fastest, largest, colourful, dangerous, and indeed some of the most critically endangered species in
You're not getting 360 there,
There's no image.
huh? You don't get them video.
Welcome to the Wild Wings Free Flight Bird
Good afternoon everybody and welcome to Wild Zoological Park. My name is Zach, this is Alice down the field here. We've also got Daniel, Emily and Luke, our falcon, flying some birds with us this afternoon, and we're starting off our show with this magnificent beastie over here. This is Philippe, and Philippe is an American bald eagle. Now if you've ever met a bald eagle before, you might be thinking he doesn't look like a bald eagle, and you'd actually be quite right to think that Philippe here is only 2 years old, so he's only a baby bald eagle. And he's still got his juvenile plumage. He's not going to get that iconic white head, white tail, jet black body and bright yellow beak until he's 4 or 5 years old. So we've got a little bit of maturing to do before he actually looks like a bald eagle. Now, at the moment we're flying him backwards and forwards like this to try and build up his fitness. We want him to get nice and fit, flap those wings and build some muscle, improve his stamina and his general condition. Basically, when he came here, he'd just been kicked out of his nest by mum and dad. They didn't want to look after him anymore, so they kicked him out and sent him here. Wouldn't that be good? And basically we've now got to train him, get him nice and fit so that he can free fly with optimum precision. Normally these birds are going to try and be as lazy as they possibly can. They don't want to flap, they want to conserve energy. They want to try and use the thermals and the air currents to carry them around instead, but that means he's not getting fit. He is, however, our resident kamikaze pilot, being only a baby. As he flies out towards us, folks, as say, he's still in training, a little bit clumsy. As he flies out in this direction, if it looks like he's going to crash into you, he is. So just watch your heads, alright, because some of these birds this afternoon are going to be flying a little bit low. But the idea with Phil is once he's gotten a little bit more fit, we're going to ask him to start doing some more exciting flights. We want him to start doing some nice big loops around the vineyard here. We also want him to start taking up on the thermals and the air current, start getting some height, and eventually he could be a little black dot up in the sky, 3,000 or 4,000 feet up in the air. Then we want him to demonstrate a stoop, start plummeting down towards the arena here at about 80 or 90 miles an hour to come in for a nice gentle landing on the end of Alice's glove, just like that. There you go, let's give him a round of applause, guys. That is Philippe, our baby bald eagle. Alright folks, from the wilds of North America we're now heading to South America, and we're going to meet Lola, and Lola is a red-legged Seriana. She's probably one of the most unusual birds that we have in our show, and one of my favourites as well. She's coming out with Daniel here on your right hand side in just a second. Alright, now this bird looks like a big chicken, but she's in fact a bird of prey, specially designed for killing and catching all sorts of prey. For a start off, she can jump really high in the air to grab small insects and birds right out of the air. Boing, have a look at that. I'd say that could have been an insect or a bird to grab that food by jumping up out of the pampas grasses on the savannas of South America. However, it's not birds and insects that is her main food. Her main diet out in the wild is actually snakes and lizards. So over here we've got Nigel, who's a rubber snake, and hopefully Nigel's going to demonstrate how it might look if she was to spot a snake in the wild. Whammo off the floor, there you go. So she's going to grab him, pick him up, whammo, and smash him as hard as she possibly can off the floor to try and break the backbone, break the spine and pulverise the snake. so she can easily get it down her neck. She doesn't think that Nigel has been sufficiently whammer, there you go, killed just yet. We'll rescue Nigel. We'll see if she'll do another nice jump sideways on maybe. Oh, she spotted a bit more food. Okay, a bit more. One more jump rolls, that's all you got to do. Boing! Lovely, there you go. Let's give her a round of applause, guys. That is Lola, our red-legged fairy armour. Alright, guys, we're heading to Africa next. Alright, so as I say, we're heading to Africa to meet our next bird. We're going to meet Umbali, and Umbali is a milky eagle owl. This is one of the largest species of owl in the world. Certainly the largest species of owl in all of Africa. And she's heading out over here on your right-hand side. Now, there's lots of different species of owl all over the world. This one, as I say, comes from Africa. And it's one of Africa's largest species, actually on par with the Mackinder's eagle owl, which is another pretty big bird. It's a hot day for Umbali, even though she comes from Africa. She doesn't like flying in heat. She's preferred the cooler weather we've had over the last couple of days. Well, she doesn't like wind and rain either, and we've had that too. So it's never an ideal flying day for Umbali. Now, you might have heard the expression, the wise old owl, but sadly for this bird, not strictly true. Umbali, who's about to make her way out, is really thick. She's not an intelligent bird at all, but that's okay because she's got lots of other adaptations to help her survive in the wild. Almost completely silent flight. So in a second she's going to do a flight up over you guys on my right, and then hopefully a flight over you guys on my left as well. About time, love. Now when we bring out an owl like this, people go, oh, isn't she sweet and cute and fluffy? And she looks sweet and cute and fluffy, but the problem is, she's also a predator. She's a carnivorous bird. She's a killing machine designed for killing all sorts of different prey. She can kill things as big as baby warthogs. She can kill falcons and secretary birds. She's one of the only known predators of the African spiny hedgehog. She's one of the only birds in the world that's ever been seen grabbing a monkey out of a tree by its head. Although the chosen prey of a wild milky eagle owl is nice juicy meerkats. Now as she flies out towards you, she does expect you to shift out of the way, but if you duck she just flies even lower. Now we are feeding our birds of prey little bits of chicken and meat today because that's what they eat. They're not plant-eating animals, and we're not going to sugarcoat a single thing, folks. We're going to tell you exactly how it is. This bird eats other animals out in the wild, and we are feeding them little bits of chicken, little bits of meat today, alright? That's what they eat. And as I say, we're not going to sugarcoat that. You're all welcome to go on Facebook TripAdvisor and complain that you've seen a bird of prey eating meat today. I'm sure you won't, but that's exactly, folks, what Sharon from Tamworth did. We had a 3-day fight with Sharon on Facebook. 3 days. But we won the fight, folks. Sharon's dead. We killed her. Had enough of people like her. Never mind. I'm only joking. But as I say, we are going to tell you exactly how it is now. Silent flight on this bird, incredible vision. She can see 100 times better than we can. She's also got really good hearing. One ear is slightly higher than the other. She can cross-locate where noises are coming from to pinpoint her prey and hopefully catch it, kill it and eat it. As I say, she's a predatory bird. If you want to have a closer look at Umbali at the end of this show, we're going to bring her up to the rope with along with several other birds. So you're more than welcome to have a closer look, but please don't try and touch any of the birds we're bringing out at the end because they will bite you, alright? So no touchy, just a lucky, okay? Alright, let's give a round of applause, guys. That is Umbali, our milky eagle owl. Alright, guys, now here's where the pandemonium starts. We're going to need bums on seats because we're going to have birds everywhere, alright? They're going to be flying all over the shop, so please don't stand up or try and touch them. If any of the birds land close to you, don't panic. Most of these birds are carrion eaters, so they eat stuff that's dead. They're scavengers. So if they land close to you, look alive, okay? Look as though you're breathing and they'll leave you alone. Now, you're not going to see birds flying anywhere like this, anywhere else in the country. And what you're about to see is the largest free flight finale in the UK. We're going to start off with Barry. Barry is a marabou stork. Now, so this is one of the largest flying birds in the world with a wingspan of 13 feet. When fully grown, he's making his way in over there. This bird, as I say, is found out in Africa, where they work with large teams of vultures to act as the clear-up crew, nature's recyclers. And as I say, they're all going to be working together as a team to work together.
affectionately known as the bin men of the bush or nature's recyclers. During a carcass feeding, hundreds of these scavenging birds will congregate to devour the carcass. Here at Wild you can see turkey vultures, black vultures, the ginormous African white-backed vultures, and of course the national swallows.
So all of these birds we're about to introduce to you folks, they're all carrion eaters. They've got to stick their heads right up inside rotting dead animal carcasses like Norman, who's just made his way up here. They don't want to get guts and gore stuck in their head feathers. That is why they are bald, and they're always going to be bald. In fact, birds like Norman, people frequently feel inclined to tell us that they think Norman is the ugliest bird here on the vineyard. It's not true, folks. If you pop down the cafe, there's a girl that works there. She wins that prize.
Each has their own niche. The smaller species are able to get into all the little nooks and crannies. They do not, however, break through the large, tough hides of some carcasses. Instead, they require the help of the big.
You have to stop knocking me.
It's like going on a school trip, they're meant to count them all in at the end. Do a head count to make sure they've got them all back.
These birds have incredibly powerful beaks to break through the tough skin of rhino or elephant. And the marable storks can use their long legs to wade amongst the vultures, picking up the scraps. This enables the whole scavenging team to pick a carcass clean. These birds may have a dirty job to do, but it's one of the most ecologically important roles in the animal kingdom. With super strong stomach acids, vultures can eat disease and bacteria-ridden meat with no cause. This saves the other animals from the nasties hidden within the carcasses. Real recycling heroes. A problem. Vultures all over the world are in trouble. They've been around millions of years, but due to human interference, poisoning and trapping, they are now one of the most threatened groups of birds in the world. These African white-backed vultures, known as Kevin and Patricia, have declined as a species by a staggering 96% in just a decade. Vulture populations across Asia, Europe and Africa are vanishing. The team here are working with organisations around the world to try and protect the birds. The vultures have an incredible sense of smell. They have been seen gliding on thermals at 18,000 feet. Should they smell there is food available, they begin to circle. As they circle other scavengers on the savannas, they become attracted. Opportunists like jackals, hyenas, or even other birds like kites. Kites are mainly insect-feeding birds, snatching food on the wing right out of the air. Watch as these birds grab food in their talons, passing it to the beak to eat it whilst maintaining flight. The kites may even swoop down to ground level to snatch up meat right under the noses of the birds. This bird with the red wings and white back is a dream, a Brahmani kite from Southeast Asia and Australia. but you will also find various species of kites in Africa and, of course, Europe. The next group of birds approaching the arena are parrots. There are 393 different species of parrot, ranging from the smallest of parakeets to the giant macaws. Macaws are brightly coloured birds hailing from South America. They are gregarious, flocking in large numbers. They fill the rainforest with a riot of noise and colour as they take to the sky.
Depends if they're strong enough to fly for the show today.
Imagine what it would be like if the whole sky were to fill with parrots.
One's not flying. Here they come. Beautiful.
Flying here are blue and gold, scarlet, green wing, military and elegant macaws.
It is.
Macaws and parrots are among the most intelligent of animals, with an IQ similar to that of a human child. They pair for life and spend time flying together in formation, wingtip to wingtip.
Are the others coming up?
Typically, a pair of macaws will raise 2 or 3 chicks a year. Their long tails aid their flight, acting as windbreaks and rudders to change direction and land safely. Their beaks have tremendous strength and can crack open even the hardest of nuts. These birds can live to be over 80 years. This, along with their destructive beaks, loud voices and complex behaviour, renders them unsuitable pets. Parrots need to live and free fly in large groups. There are 17 macaw species, most of which feature on the IUCN Red List of Endangered Species. Here at Wild Zoological Park, you can see 3 pairs of critically endangered blue-throated macaws, of which there could be as little as 80 left in the wild. The team here are working to breed these birds to release back into the wild. Approaching the arena now are African crowned cranes and young white storks. The crowned cranes are so called because of these striking feather headdresses. These birds can be seen in flocks of up to 150 individuals living in grass and wetlands in southern Africa. They are primitive birds dating back 56 million years. These young white storks are only a few months old. In folklore, this is the stork that delivers the babies. They are migratory birds and have been seen crossing the Sahara Desert without stopping for a single break. Once widespread around the UK, these birds were driven out of the British Isles. With the help of zoos and conservationists, a pair may breed this year for the first time in over 600 years. Here before you are critically endangered vultures, cranes and parrots. The reality is you could be looking at some of the last of these birds on the planet here today. The time to act for wildlife is right now. All is not lost. Zoos and conservationists around the world are working together. The team here are official conservation partners with the Macaw Recovery Network, working in South America to save parrots and macaws, and VulPro, an organisation on the front line in Africa helping to protect vultures. If you would like to support this work, at the end of the show you may contribute to the Conservation Fund or support the Wild Wings gift shop. 100% of the proceeds will be going towards the conservation programmes.
Alright guys, so I hope you enjoyed watching these birds fly out here this afternoon. The whole point of this show is to try and inspire people that birds are cool and exciting. A lot of people love pandas and monkeys and meerkats, but really it's the birds that need our help, and that's why we're working with lots of organisations all over the world to try and get these guys back out into the wild. It's taken us 5 years to train birds to fly like this. It's been a real labour of love. We've got some more activities coming up for you this afternoon, animal handling and a few walkthroughs. If you want to get close to some parrots, our brand new Macaw Kingdom is about to open as well. But otherwise folks, thanks so much for spending your afternoon with us. That was the Wild Wings Bird Show, and enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks very much.